Round one. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 227th episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We are powered by 8bit.net and those sexy legends at Audio-Technica and Manscaped, but more on those guys and gals later. I'm your extremely humble host, Brendan White. You can find me just about everywhere, Brendan 8bit, and joining me today, my podcast ride or die, the solo mid champion, otherwise known as Ari, to my Master Yi. You can find MDM socials at Miss Ellie Hart. What's going on today, Miss Ellie Hart?
Oh, hello. I was curious because I knew how you do intros and I was trying to remember what character you play. So, curious if anyone in the audience knows the reference yet. You will soon find out.
That's true. We might keep you in suspense for at least a few more seconds, but yeah, we've both been dabbling in something a little bit new, which is very exciting. Just wanted to.
So it was new for you. I wasn't too sure if you've had previous experience with this one.
I did, but I'd sort of say I'm starting fresh. Like I played. Okay, well, full spoilers, people. The game in question we're talking about is League of Legends. Obviously, MOBA game. I mentioned that I had a few spins of it last week, but this week have had a few more goes around, and Miss Ellie Hart has joined in on the fun as well. But this is your first actual experience with the game ever, right?
Yeah, it is. I've never ever played it, never touched it. I've previously stated I've played Smite. So I thought I had an idea of what I was kind of getting into, and by golly, it was still really new, really daunting. Still so much to learn. So
it's intense. I played many moons ago with Salim the Dream way back in the day, but I had no ability then and I've got even less now, and there's just so many champions. I think that's the most overwhelming thing with this game, is that obviously you've got, say, 4 or 5 primary roles that you play in this game, but then on the back of that there's I think there's in excess of 60 champions, give or take. That could even be underestimating the overall number, but there's a lot.
I think I read somewhere they're unlocking more, aren't they?
Yeah, like they drop a new champion, it feels like every month or so. But I'm no LOL expert, so those numbers could be way off, so keep the pitchforks away for now, but there's a lot. And there's going to continue to be a lot more. But just knowing the intricacies of a few champions, let alone one, is tough. And knowing how to play, how to utilize this character, when's best to use their abilities, blah, 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 blah. It is daunting.
It is. And we've been taken under the wing of NATO and Kaz as well. And they've been helping us along on the journey of getting familiar with LoL. But it's just I mentioned when we were playing, I felt like I had a very disappointed father watching over me because I had NATO guiding me through mid lane and telling me, no, you missed that one, no, you got step back, you got to move back, and I'm just I feel like I'm just disappointing my dad and I'm just not doing well at soccer, and he's just gonna take away the PlayStation until I get better at it. So
it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
I copped it from both our LOL parents. You weren't in this game, but I was jungling, which I'm still trying to get my head around, and they were trying to push a few enemies in my direction so we could all jump on them together. But they sort of went, hold off for a little bit, and I interpreted that as in okay, go do my own stuff. So I sort of moved from my little sneaky attack spot and just went and farmed some creatures in the jungle, and then they pushed up to where I was. And then I got back obviously really late and they could have nearly died. And then it was when you're meant to do this, you got to tell us where you're moving away. We had a strategy in place and a plan in motion and you were nowhere to be seen. And I was like, I'm sorry. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. It just looked good over there. So I get what you're saying. Yeah, it sucks to disappoint the LOL fam. That's for sure.
You know what sucks worse? When you're running mid lane by yourself and you're the newbie and you're the one that's trying to figure your shit out, and then everything's going to crap and you're barely making any ground, and then everyone starts to join you in the middle and then they take care of everything while you're dead. And I'm just like, this is sad. Like, I've been doing the middle lane by myself. And
yeah, mid and top is can be a little bit lonely, like, especially if you're against somebody that's got some good sort of combat to what you're trying to throw at them. Like, if they can sort of match up with you really well, it is very much like you get an inch, then they get an inch, then you get 2 inches, then they might get 1, and it's like very back and forth when it's just that one-on-one. But yeah, being in, say, bot or floating around in the jungle and you can sort of just sneak in and out to get a kill and then keep going on your business, that adds some fun to it. But yeah, you're like the you're the pillar, you're the glue keeping this thing together. That middle and top, where it is just that one-on-one long-term slow burn, it's tough to see, but you performed admirably, and I think Mum and Dad were proud.
Much. I think they were. I definitely eventually impressed Dad after a while. He was very proud when I was able to kill a few people and take essentially middle lane for myself. So I think it's just going to take a lot of time. There's a lot of I guess I'm going to say it's my like first person shooter experience that I need to kind of like knock out of my head, because I'm not used to playing and then like essentially retreating back to the start to get my health and mana back. Like,
never a backward step with you, Miss Hart. Never a backward step.
No, I'm an emu, always moving forward. So
it's a great reference. Emu.
Isn't that why we have a kangaroo and emu on the coat of arms, right? They always move forward.
That's true. Could say kangaroo too, because they can't go backwards. Take either.
I guess I just picked an emu.
They got big claws.
Yeah, that's my long legs.
That's it.
But yeah, so it's kind of those mannerisms that you kind of have to get used to and take yourself out of, because if you don't, you just, you're not doing yourself a service, and you're like me and you finish a match and everyone's maybe died once, and my kills just like you've died like 20 times.
I was like that too. Like I've been jumping around different characters just to try and get a feel for different roles and different abilities to see what works, and I was like that too, where I'd just be like, if I just take 2 more steps and get close to that tower, I can kill this guy. And then you get him and he gets you, or the tower gets you and he gets away with a Derrick of health. Like, yeah, it's tough. I'm sort of from that same emu mindset, if we want to call it, where
you can be the kangaroo.
No retreat, no surrender. It's like, forward the whole time. And yeah, in this game, it's very much it's chess. You have a little exchange, then you go back and recoup your mana and your health and buy some items. And that's another thing. Items is intense. Knowing what to build. So thanks to that blitz.gg app that just takes all the guesswork out of it, and you just follow the breadcrumbs. It tells you to buy what and when and how, and cuts out all the stress.
Yes, sir. I'll take care of that.
But it's good. But hopefully, we can try and rumble during the day over the weekend, because Alex Blue Shift Andreu plays with us a little bit too of an evening, so we could have a full team of 5 and get Alex from NPCs on with us and roll out with a full suite and try and stomp some punks.
Yeah, try being the keyword, especially when you have me around. But it'd be pretty interesting to see how it would be different from bots, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still like, I don't see this being a long-term thing for me. Like I said, it's just, I feel like League of Legends is one of the pillars, like major pillars of gaming, and I just feel like you should at least experience those kind of games once.
Yep.
Like,
I'm with you.
You need to at least try it, see what it's about, and kind of better understand it. So, but the slow burn nature of this game probably won't keep me. So,
I do like though that the game, it starts like I sort of said, it starts like chess, but then it ends up being like just, I don't know what you call it at the end, where it's just when everyone's like
bloody horde mode at the end.
Level 10 to level 16 or whatever, when you started getting to them where you can sort of one-shot people and it gets really aggressive, and then it's like full team exchanges, that's where it gets real bonkers, where it's just, towers are down and it's just skirmish, death, heal, run back in. Like, it's just, I like that part of it where it just dials up the insanity and it just gets so bananas. But I'm with you. I don't think like it's not a forever game for me, but like it's good to have something in the rotation where you can just pick up, play a couple of games and jump off.
And for me, it's also like kind of understanding as well, like kind of knowing what it's all about, as opposed to being like maybe slightly ignorant, being like, I've never played the game. I'm not even going to try and begin to understand what's going on. So
yeah, but no, it's been fun. It's good fun, and yeah, having mum and dad certainly in there, you know, holding our hands through the crazy world that is League of Legends has certainly helped. So yeah, shout out to the best LOL couple in on the western.
Brendan's been playing
the
a
western
completely
side of the
different
country.
game.
I've been playing everything, but not WoW. I'm not going back. I can't take that sort of needle back in the veins. That's done. But I see you've been playing another little ditty, which is kind of exciting.
Oh, you know me with my builders and everything like that. But Planet Coaster has been around for some time now, quite some time. And I've been into my city builders. I've, you know, been into Theme Park World. What was the super OG? Roller Coaster Tycoon. Yeah. I'm very familiar with these games. So Planet Coaster, I kind of knew I would enjoy it, but there was this really ignorant side of me that's like, it's another roller coaster builder game. Like, what else is going to be different from it? Oh my goodness. It is such a blast and is super adorable. Just the level of attention when it comes to being more immersive in like dealing with the actual patrons, and then interactivity on like a game that actually rewards you, and it's actually quite noticeable for you dressing up the environment, like putting interactive animatronics or putting up like just, I guess, like toilets and stuff like that. Like just seeing the character, like going through the patrons and seeing them actually acknowledge like the line for this ride had great scenery. And I'm like, oh shit. Thank you for noticing. I appreciate
that. I took many an hour trying to get that scenery looking good and lush. So thank you, patron.
Thank you, patron. The only problem that I had was assuming that when I opened my theme park, I was charging money. I just assumed that was the standard, and I was wondering why my theme park was so busy. I'm like, man, my theme park must kick ass. It's so busy. There's so many like busy rides. There's people everywhere. I'm so good at designing theme parks, and then I go over to the thing, and it's like free entry.
So you're
hemorrhaging
money.
So yeah, but either way, like I said, just going in, you zoom into like where being at patron level and just seeing them interact with the entertainers and seeing them like get excited and pointing at the fireworks up in the sky, and it's been a really great experience. So it's rekindled my love for the roller coaster theme park builders. So I'm sure Planet Coaster has probably been in a humble bundle. That may be how I got it. So if anyone's previously had a humble bundle where they've just kept on, renewing every month regardless of whether they buy the games or not, you may already own this one.
That's me. That's how I got it.
So, and it's a good kind of like throwaway side game where you don't really want to dedicate your time too much to something, but you want to feel some level of achievement. So Planet Coaster has been a lot of fun. It's been very, very cute. So
no, it's awesome. I like that you can just something that's cool in it. It's probably part of most of these games and universes now. It's just being able to ride the rides once you've built them to sort of see what the experience is. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a dud because I get really frustrated when it comes to the actual building of roller coasters. And when you're like, okay, I'm going to build this and this, and then it's like, sorry, you ran out of space or the terrain's not right. And I get so frustrated with that.
God.
So I did standard builds, like presets.
Yeah, just let me be.
I'm more about putting pretty trees around, and now they reward me for that.
Well,
so
as evidenced by the positive feedback from your patrons,
Old
good
mate
scenery.
at the pirate ship ride, he really appreciated that barrel that exploded. So
I remember riding the pirate ship at Wonderland when I was a kid, and holy moly, that thing scared the bejesus out of me.
Oh, really? Like, I remember the first time riding it, and it was like lots of fun until I realized that the gag that kids and patrons would do on that ride was when it got to a certain level, you would spit. So then when it rocked the other way, a person would get spit in their face.
Yeah.
So,
people are fucking
props
gross.
you got to give it to them because they were obviously paying attention to science. But the fact that
science.
people were, really gross science, people were getting spat in their face in this ride. Yeah. I miss Wonderland.
Yeah, simpler times. I remember the first time I went to Wonderland, I wasn't tall enough to ride I think the Demon was their big coaster. So I had to just ride the Beastie, which was like their littler one that kids of that height could ride. But I remember going a few years after that and being able to ride the Demon. It was like, yeah. The
Demon was the one that would go back, spin, and then straight. There was the big one, the big roller coaster at the front. Ish. I don't know what that one was called. The Beast? Was that
the Beastie was the big. I think the Beastie was bigger, but it was a little one.
There was the little Beastie at the back, the smaller one, and then there was the giant one at the front.
Maybe that was the Demon then.
Well, I think the Demon, like I said, I think the Demon is the one where it's like a straight path where where you start off and it takes you back, and then it drops you. You do one loop, and then you kind of go up.
I can't remember. Either way, I couldn't ride the big ones the first time I went there, and I was sad because I wasn't tall enough.
I just didn't because I was chicken shit, and then I got a taste of like blood of the adrenaline of rides, and now I'm obsessed.
All about it, yeah.
I can't do the ones that drop you though. I hate those.
Yeah, they're pretty intense. They are pretty intense. But something else that's been a little bit intense this week is Season 8 of Apex Legends making its way to every console. Nearly every console and platform, I should say. But it's actually been confirmed that the Switch version of Apex Legends is going to be dropping on March the 9th.
What the fuck?
Which is kind of cool. So cross-platform Apex, maybe playing Apex in your bed, on the Switch, with your mates.
On the toilet.
On the public transport, wherever you want to play, wherever you want to drop in. But Season 8's out. There's been some readjustments again to Kings Canyon, and we get our first taste of Aussie representation in the game with Fuse, who is, I guess you could say, he's sort of an assault character, a lot of explosives and whatnot. So his main, like his left bumper, his main abilities, he's got like a little cluster grenade thing he can shoot out every 20 or so seconds that do like splash damage, and then his ultimate, he drops like this sort of ring of fire so you can encase enemies into it, and he's a ton of fun to play. I've got my fix out of him, I think, and I've moved back to Lifeline, who's my main. But he's fun to play, and it was cool to see this character and how he was representing us, you could say, in the game. Like Ben Pendergrast voiced him, who is actually an Aussie native, which is awesome. We don't get the Americans trying to do the Australian accent, so it's full true blue Struth. He references AC/DC. He says bloody hell, Ken Oath, talking about slabs and six packs and coldies, and like it's Aussie bogan. Like this dude's meant to be, I think he's close or around 50 odd, because he talks about he's been breaking hearts for 5 decades or something. So he's 50 something, this guy, but looks good, great voice work, cool new abilities. I'm really digging it. I'm hoping this might be enough to get you to dust off the Apex boots and come play a few games.
Yeah, I had every intention in coming back. I had to just take a break from Apex because we just had like a full line of games. Like we had Cyberpunk, which I'm still scheduled to finish soon so we can get the spoiler cast going. And then we obviously got Hitman, and then there was a few games in between. But I really enjoyed my experience at the end of last year, where I said, I'm playing Apex every day so I can get good at it. And it worked. Yep. So I definitely do want to jump back into it. I don't think I have any interest in playing this Fuse character.
Keep playing as Bloodhound? He's who you were maining, weren't you?
He is my main. Yeah, so by the end of it, I was maining Bloodhound and Gibraltar.
Yep.
So I'll probably...
2 great characters with a lot of utility.
Yeah. And so I'll probably stick with them. Can we talk about how unimaginative it is that Apex created another character and their ult is a fire from above? With a ring of damage?
There's a few of them now. There's certainly a few.
There's 3.
And
Gibraltar does it.
Yeah, Gibraltar, Bangalore.
Bangalore does it, and now he does it.
Yeah, so they're same but different. I like with this one at least, you know, if you can drop this thing around an enemy or a group of enemies, like they can't get out. Like if they push through that fire, there's a chance that fire's going to do enough chunk damage to drop them and kill them. So it's cool. Like I think seeing that ability synergize with like Horizon's sort of void ball thing she throws out that sucks everybody in, like combining that with that flame ability, I think would be huge.
Actually, yeah. I can see that.
But I haven't been able to play with a Horizon to synergize that yet. So it's just been me throwing these these rings of fire around the joint. But just listening to the banter that he throws around in the game is phenomenal. Like so many great lines.
Yeah, I'm glad he's actually throwing out what we would consider like token Australian slang, but would actually be quite unfamiliar to foreign audiences. So getting them to experience it and probably just hearing it going, what the hell did he just say?
What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm still thinking that the Aussie is really like turned up a bit too much, but it's better than, I mean, how we've been previously shown and played, i.e. Junkrat played by a British person, I'm pretty certain. So
like it's no level of like Housos or something like that. Like he is you know, he's like a typical Aussie bogany bloke, but it's not like to the millionth degree. Like they haven't exaggerated it too much. It's just a dude that you'd probably meet in every second pub in Australia for the most part. Like you know, he talks like that, but it's really well done. It's really well done, and I guess probably could have led off with this part before I jumped into talking about Apex, but we can sandwich it in here and it'll still make sense.
You've got mail.
And so sort of synergizing with this game was our question of the week, and we were talking about Fuse making his way to Apex Legends, and we thought we'd sort of throw it out to the audience and get a temperature check on how we feel Australian representation has been handled in the video game space. So, you know, are we adequately showcased? Is it good, bad, or other? Like Miss Hart, you just mentioned about Junkrat being voiced by a British person.
I believe it's a British person, yeah.
Yeah,
I might be wrong.
So that's that. You know, Benny sort of says 99% it's corny or over the top with the accent dialed up to 11. Not necessarily bad, depending on the context of the game, but it would be nice to see Aussie representation in more serious games.
True.
Which I think is very fair. We don't get too many sort of serious or deadpan representations of Australians in gaming. John O'Peck says, does Miranda Lawson count? She at least has a normal Aussie accent. And God damn she does. I love Miranda Lawson. And Yvonne Strahovski voiced her and shared her likeness or lent her likeness to Miranda. She was the secret agent in Chuck. And she was also, I can't remember her name now, in The Handmaid's Tale. She's sort of the wife of, which Fane's brother is? It's not Ralph. What's the other one? Whichever. But she's one of the main antagonists in The Handmaid's Tale.
I've been saying his last name wrong.
Yeah, she's a great actress, and love Miranda Lawson. So yeah, she definitely does count as shows. John O'Peck. Zombies Love Bacon says, from what I've seen, it's kind of meh. Not super exciting or groundbreaking. Nothing ever will beat the representation of Australia in that Simpsons episode. yeah, okay, maybe. You know, I think that's the tough part. Like, that Simpsons episode, the rest of the world just sees us as that episode, I think, now. Like, it's so ingrained in everybody.
And Crocodile Dundee, yeah.
Yeah.
And Mad Max.
And Crocodile Hunter. That's probably the main ones, right? Where we're sort of typecast as.
About him. Yeah. So it's usually like in the same vein, like, you know, crazy Wild West kind of one with, I guess, nature, but a very barren landscape. So
yeah. We all drink Fosters apparently, and play a bit of knifey spoon.
They sell that here. They actually sell cans of Fosters here.
Yeah. It's funny because like no one really in Australia drinks Fosters, but everyone thinks it's the Australian beer. So anyway, Fault Runner says, the only ones I've seen are almost always exaggerated comic relief types, apart from maybe Kano.
Oh,
Shout out to Kano. Fantastic representation of Aussie. I think we're adequately showcased for sure, although it would be nice to see someone that isn't a white bloke.
Good
Very,
point.
very true. And at Rusty Steelpipe says, one of my favorite operators in Black Ops 4, Crash, is an Indigenous bloke. So it's good to see that we have a bit of Indigenous Australian representation in the gaming space. And yeah, Crash is an operator you can run in Black Ops, which is good to see. So I think they're getting better. I think we're getting less caricatured in a way, and it's being more realistic representations. And it's always cool to see because our accent stands out as in an Aussie way to describe it, as like dog's balls in games. Like you hear the American back and forth, then you get an Aussie accent thrown in there, and you like immediately go, What's that? Who's this?
Yeah, like I don't know. Sometimes I guess maybe also because I'm like living here now. I don't know. I do feel like whenever an Australian character is in a game, it's just overly Australian. It's like, and it's not worth having an Australian character in a game apparently unless it's blatantly obvious. And like I said, I keep on forgetting that Kano is Australian, an Australian character. So although I always visualize that that actor he was in Jag and he played Kano in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
I think he had a more British accent, didn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah,
From ear to ear.
Hello, love.
Did you miss me?
But
Because he buys her a kiss, doesn't he? Start? He's like, mwah.
I love that movie so much. But it would be great just to see an Australian character represented differently. Just like we're not all Mad Max characters. We're not living in a junkyard, and we're not all like mechanics, explosive experts kind of thing. Like like you said, Horizon. Like she's Scottish, right? Her character's background is Scottish, and they didn't put her in a kilt. They didn't make her a chef of haggis. They just gave her red hair, and she's like a science expert. Like, why can't they do that sort of stuff with Australian characters? Why can't we have some like awesome like we've had a very significant part in space technology. We've been a part of. It was the moon landing, right?
The Dish movie.
That's a great movie, by the way.
Yeah, Sam Neill, love you.
Yeah, put us in a different kind of category.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting more fleshed out characters these days as opposed to the parodies of Australiana. But going full circle, it's awesome to see. Fuse is really well done. He's a fun character to play, and everyone's playing this game. Like they sort of announced the EA sort of fourth quarter earnings, and the game Apex is up 30% year-over-year growth in new players quarter on quarter, and on the back end of October through December in that season 7 spike grew another 30% on top of that again. So the people are hungry, and this game seems to be here to stay, and it's awesome to see. Yeah, I still love it. Now people can get in and get a couple of them crowns, get a couple of them W's,
let's get a win.
Yeah. All right, so moving on, quick bit of housekeeping. The Hungry Game Show episode 14 is dropping this coming Thursday via early access over at kofi.com/we-are8bit. And this is the inevitable first episode where we've got two contestants going at each other in real time as they combat against Blizzard's classic, Blizzard's juggernaut of a game, World of Warcraft. So that's our boy Matty Stallone from Audio Technica going up against Ryan Dingle, aka Panda TV, Twitch streamer extraordinaire, pitting their wits against one another and World of Warcraft. So that was a ton of fun to record last weekend. The edit has been challenging, but we are getting there, and it will be ready this coming Thursday to drop into your ears via early access. Episode 13 is obviously available right now on the Hungry Gamers RSS feed as well, and that was seeing Zach from News to Reviews go up against God of War, the most recent iteration of the game. So see how he fared against Kratos and co. And also dropping this week by early access over on kofi.com/we-are8bit is episode number 2 of Benny McJant's Cocktail Club. Ooh. And this theme is the Midori Illusion.
Oh,
Great
nice.
little cocktail. Can confirm it tastes very nice. It's actually got yours truly jumping on. I am the the ultimate ringer for podcasts. If you need someone to fill in at late notice, apparently I'm the one. So I've jumped in, and Benny and I have a good riff and a good chat, and just talk life, talk cocktails. So check that out over at kofi.com/we're8bit, and it drops on the 8-Bit Cast RSS feed 2 weeks later. But Miss Hart, what do you think? Should we go talk about our friends over at Manscaped?
Let's do it.
All right. Listeners, are you constantly low on gold and struggling to improve your last hit abilities? Well, stop what you're doing, as the purveyors of perfect pubic hair will get you farming like the best of them in no time. It all starts with the Perfect Package 3.0 and its flagship product, the Lawnmower 3.0. Complete with a patented ceramic blade and advanced skin-safe technology, we're crushing wave after wave of body hair-shaped minions with absolute ease.
To further improve your game, the Perfect Package 3.0 also comes with an assortment of other liquid formulations to round out your grooming routine. Some of these liquid tools for your rune-shaped jewels includes an anti-chafing deodorant known as the Crop Preserver. This is a total game changer that allows you to topple towers while you're remaining free of sweat. Next up is the Crop Reviver, a spray-on ball toner that will improve your defenses and survivability while in solo mid. The Perfect Package also comes with a handy travel bag, disposable shaving mats, and a set of anti-chafing boxes that grant you plus 20% movement speed. This is a perfect package for your perfect package.
And listeners, we can offer you this very special promotion. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code 8bit at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com using the code ATEBIT. Remember, people, no one wants a dirty, hairy, gross keyboard and mouse. Keep it sleek. Keep it clean. With thanks to Manscaped.
This week's news headlines.
And the first one with the headline: the master of lockpicking finally returns to the big screen. Yes, that's right. Deadline is reporting that the new Resident Evil movie Zombie shuffles into cinemas on the 3rd of September 2021 as part of Labor Day weekend in the United States. The story is set on a night in Raccoon City way back in 1998, where all the Chaos fans of video game series know and love unfolds. In the press release accompanying the announcement of the film, Roberts, who previously directed deep sea thriller 47 Meters Down, explained, "With this movie, I really wanted to go back to the original first two games and recreate the terrifying, visceral experience I had when I first played them, whilst at the same time telling a grounded human story about a small, dying American town that feels both relatable and relevant to today's audiences," end quote. So we've talked about this film here and there and broke down the casting and hypothesized about what the story is going to be about, but it's cool to know that they've locked in a date, touch wood, barring any further unforeseen circumstances, but the 3rd of September 2021, hitting the cinemas. Maybe it's going to be released simultaneously on some kind of streaming platform as well, I'd envision, but
as time tells.
At least I'll probably be watching in the cinemas on September the 3rd, or maybe September the 4th, because usually a day ahead, but I'm excited. Miss Hart, are you excited?
I'm actually excited because, having that line where the directors essentially said, I wanted to create the experience that I had when I played the game, it's comforting. It's good. It makes you feel like maybe this movie might be in the right hands. We are very passionate about our pop culture, our video games, and when Hollywood takes over and they're like, this is popular, let's turn it into a movie, TV show, etc. But there's obviously no attachment to where the content comes from, and no one really knows what they're referencing. They're just doing whatever. It's sad because we're all very passionate, and obviously Resident Evil is a very, very, very got a very strong fan base behind it. So having someone involved with a movie that actually played the game, experienced the game, knows what's actually going on, it's promising. It doesn't necessarily mean it's foolproof because it's open to interpretation, and then he's obviously going to have whatever company kind of telling him what they want in the background, but hopefully it's more on the positive side.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Like, I'm not gonna confirm that this could be a home run and be one of the best video game to screen adaptations of all time, but they're saying all the right things. Like, they're not creating a new character and making Mila Jovovich play it and turn it into this action jaunt. Like, it feels like this could be more focused on the horror. And if it's a bit of a slow burn with some crazy gore and cool scenes, and I'm hoping they weave in some cheesy dialogue from the 90s. I'd love some of those lines from the original game to just find their way into some of the conversations just for the lulz. But I'm excited. I'm feeling good. I really liked 47 Meters Down, which was the most recent film that the director and sort of the chair of this movie tackled. I thought that was a really cool spin on the old creature feature, shark survival thriller horror type of vibe. So I think if you can sort of translate some of that sort of claustrophobia to this and that feeling of like constant tension and unease, I think it'll be cool. So yeah, I'm excited. Just do this franchise right. I adore this universe. A lot of people adore this universe, and I was sick of getting beaten around the head with Alice action adventure crap for the last 8 movies or whatever the hell they ended up making. Like,
yeah, it was like 7, 8. It's a delicate. Yes, exactly. It's a delicate time actually, because we're going to be experiencing the Mortal Kombat movie this year. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah,
So
that's happening this year as well. So we got a couple of game.
Yeah.
We would have had Uncharted as well, but obviously that got kicked to early next year now, I think. It got bumped out of 2021 altogether, if I remember. I don't have the dates in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it got punted. So
Uncharted by name, Uncharted by box office. But
yeah,
we're going to also get TV shows too. TV shows, because we've got Witcher animated as well.
Yep, animated Witcher. I don't think we'll get the Tomb Raider animated this year, but we've got a few other ones in the works. There's a lot of video game crossover happening, and I'm all for it. And hopefully, this is like a step in the right direction for this greater Resident Evil cinematic universe. Because no doubt, if this movie is successful, they'll want to build off it and flesh out the rest of the RE stories and maybe make some new ones. But just keep it grounded in the horror. That's all they need to do. Don't try and make it actiony, just slow burn, make it full of dread and fear. That's all they need to do. The cast is great. Just do right by us, please.
If you do right by Resident Evil, hopefully someone can do I actually didn't mind Silent Hill, to be honest, but like do another Silent Hill. I was about to fight
you if you said
no, I wasn't going to say it was bad, but like, let's do another one because it was good. Or I'm thinking of all the horror games. Like, I would be really good to see a Fatal Frame. I would love to see a Fatal Frame movie.
Yeah, I'd watch the hell out of a lot of horror games translated to the big screen. Like, it's just trying to make that world translate and then not let the Hollywood fat cats cut the guts and the soul out of it to make it into something.
That reminds me, I need to still watch that Nicolas Cage one where he's fighting animatronics, and everyone said it's essentially just Five Nights at Freddy's. You watched the latest trailer, didn't you? It looks absolutely bonkers. Like, it's Nicolas Cage, so of course it's going to be absolutely bonkers. Say, but like, hand in hand.
Yeah, insane. But the next caption, it's becoming more and more, I guess, of a common thought process around the place, and it's clear that the world loves tall vampire women. And when Capcom debuted the villain of Resident Evil Village, a downright towering vampire woman by the name of Lady Alcina Dimitrescu, they had to have known how eager the Resident Evil fanbase would be to know more about her, right? With her WNBA-shattering height and dominant personality, Lady Dimitrescu quickly became an internet phenomenon, and fans were most excited to learn exactly how tall she is. Resident Evil fans finally have their answer. RE Village art director Tomonori Tanaka released a statement thanking fans for their interest in Village and shed some light on the matter. In quotes, most recently, Lady Dimitrescu and her daughters have received a fair amount of attention, far more than we anticipated, Tanaka said. It's great that they're able to take the spotlight as icons of Resident Evil Village. Lady Dimitrescu especially has received much fanfare both domestically and overseas, which has made all of us in the development team extremely happy. I hear her height is something of interest, ... If you include her hat and high heels, Tanaka continued, Lady Dimitrescu is 2.9 meters tall. So approximately 9.6 feet. Or 9 feet 6 inches. Not
That's
9.6 feet. Yeah. Curse you Americans and your height descriptions. Yeah.
freedom metric.
9 feet 6 inches. Holy guacamole. She is the tallest antagonist in Resident Evil history and just about one of the tallest humanoids I can remember in a game just about ever. Like, she's nearly 3 meters tall, this woman. Like, power to you, lady. That's a lot of height.
It's more Tanako's like just statement of like, hey guys, thank you for being interested in the game. You guys seem to have really been interested in this character and we didn't really anticipate that. By the way, seems like you all like how tall she is, so this is how tall she is for reference, you horny pieces of shit.
You reckon it's just some pity points?
Maybe. I mean, they have to acknowledge it because it did reach a very viral level. Like, it was very much prominent in all social medias. It went all across game consoles, probably even game genres. Everyone went horny on main for this character. So it's
everybody. And then there's so many saucy cosplayers getting around already and talking about people wanting to just be crushed by Lady Dimitrescu emotionally, physically, sexually, spiritually, you name it. Like, they just want in on Lady Alcina. So it's I think I'm with you. Like, I probably didn't represent the tone that Tanako had in his statement. I think you nailed it a bit more aptly, where you're like, yeah, thanks guys, we didn't expect it. It was a bit of a shock, and now the world's just horny for Lady Dimitrescu and her 3 daughters.
Yeah, so I like that they've kind of gone along with it because they're not idiots. They obviously understand what route this kind of fascination with their character, like where the fan base has actually gone with it. So I appreciate that they've acknowledged it, and then they've kind of just done that little jab, like, hey, well, if you're curious, this is her exact height. There you go. Do with it what you must. Like, there it is.
2.9 meters, 9'6".
9'6". Yeah, that's
my
pretty
goodness
tall.
gracious. She's a tall woman.
Why does she live in a house that she doesn't fit in? Like, because we see her in a lot of video content where she's ducking. Like, she kind of has to duck to get in. Why aren't they building her a house for her?
Yeah, there's a lot of vaulted ceilings in the main common areas, but yeah,
That's
in some
true.
of the other rooms, it certainly wouldn't be good for her back long term, that's for sure.
I guess I'll find out more when the game releases.
Yeah, in May. Cannot wait. But
So soon.
9'6" My goodness. All right, the next bit of news. The world is not enough, apparently. So they've decided to leak the GoldenEye 007 Xbox Live Arcade remaster. And this remaster, which was originally reported this past weekend through Eurogamer and a host of other media outlets, showed a full playthrough, which was posted to YouTube. And the game is actually available now to download and play via an emulator. Digital Foundry's John Linneman has verified the game is playable. It runs at a smooth 60 frames per second, and you're able to switch between the old and the new graphics at any given time. So if you want to feel that old Nintendo 64 love, you can do it, or you can dial those graphics up a little bit and get some Xbox Live Arcade fidelity in your eyes and ear holes. So it's kind of cool. Get a little bit of that. One of the pillars of multiplayer, you could say, 007.
Yeah, it was definitely a iconic first-person shooter for the time. And anyone that was playing on the Nintendo 64 probably had this game. It was
and had 3 friends over more often than not, having 4-player multiplayer, slappers only, and golden
Stack.
gun, and
Hated
all
that
that fun
stage.
stuff.
Hated Stack. Facility was my favorite. You would find
Facility
me
was
hiding in a bathroom.
Yeah, hiding in them vents above the toilets, just creeping.
It's just karate chopping people in the head.
Playing as Jaws.
It's so sad to think that this was cancelled, but in the same sense, I don't see me enjoying the game to the same level as I did way back when, if they ever did like a completely remastered, full polished game. Like, I could probably play it for like an hour and then I'd be over it. So
I'm with you. Like, I get excited for the fact that they do remake, remaster, re-release all these hits from our childhood, but like, I'm not queuing up day one for most of these to get my fill, because a lot of them, they don't age too well, or they don't translate and then offer you that same magical experience. Like, some of them are awesome, like like the Crash spin-offs and stuff like that. They're cool, but going back to something like this where the graphics are, an improvement, but it still doesn't go punch for punch with the rest of the shooter world. So yeah, it's just cool and good for James Bond or GoldenEye purists if they want to download that emulator and play around with it and see how it goes. But the next bit of news, Gearbox has been bought. Gearbox Studios, developers of games like Borderlands and also publishers of stuff like the new Homeworld titles, have been bought by Embracer Group, the same Swedish company that owns THQ Nordic and Koch Media. The acquisition makes Gearbox the company's 7th video game holding, alongside other companies like Deka and Saber Interactive. The purchase includes plans to expand Gearbox's operations, adding new studios and staff to create new brands and go looking for more properties to buy. Gearbox boss Randy Pitchford, who will stay on as boss of the company, issued a statement opening with mention of Embracer's CEO Lars Wingefors, which reads, Lars's vision of Embracer as an allied partner group committed to fueling and accelerating the ambitions of a series of decentralized, successful entrepreneurial companies while magnifying the collective value and advantages of diversification across the entire group is the most brilliant strategy and design for short, medium, and long-term success in the industry that I have ever encountered in my 30 years in the industry. Holy fucking shit, Randy Pitchford. Get some punctualization going on in this statement. Jesus Christ, that was
dictionary. Someone totally found a dictionary that morning before they put out that statement.
Holy guacamole. That was one sentence. Okay, the next part. The feeling at Gearbox is that we are just getting started, and this transaction is not merely a stimulant for the talent of our employee-owned company, but a propellant for the exciting future we have planned. End quote. So, it's pretty big. It's pretty big. Embracer Group making moves. They've got a ton of IP under their banner now, and picking up a studio like Gearbox, who I don't know if it's still going to get published through 2K. I don't know if this sort of shifts the publishing focus of these studios moving forward, but big get. Like, Borderlands is one of the bigger IPs doing the rounds in the gaming space, and Embracer's just picked up a big one. Hopefully Embracer Group have a couple of people in their media team that can help Randy Pitchford for future press releases and statements, just to sort of lessen the intensity of that. But overall, it's exciting. I'd prefer this than what we talked about last week with Tencent buying up everybody. So I very much prefer this. But yeah, it's just going to keep happening.
I'd like to be in the same I was going to say office, but I guess it doesn't technically work like that. But being alongside THQ Nordic is a good get. So I kind of, when I heard that Gearbox had been bought, I was curious what that was going to mean with Randy. And unfortunately, Randy has been known to rub people the wrong way, say the wrong things, and maybe speak his mind a little too much in a public forum. And obviously now we know he doesn't really, how to construct a good press release either.
Yeah.
But so I was wondering what was going to happen to him when it came to this buyover, but it seems like he's coming with. So
yeah. I'm curious if it's like, if he's just contractually obligated. When you see these mergers typically happen, the boss of the previous company just has to stay on for 2 to 5 years to get their full payout.
True.
And then they're gone. So I wonder if we're going to see him there forever, or if this is just he's sort of caretaking it for a few years for the merger to take place and get things rocking and rolling. But crazy times indeed. And the next headline, heroes never die. They just make you wait a little bit longer. And as part of Activision Blizzard's earnings report, the company confirmed that 2 of Blizzard's most anticipated upcoming games, Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2, will not release in 2021. Well, we didn't get any new details on the game itself. During an earnings call, Blizzard management said Overwatch 2 passed a significant milestone in December 2020. This involved, in quotes, hundreds of developers taking part. Overall, Blizzard said it feels confident about Overwatch 2. Also, during the call, management confirmed that a new Call of Duty game is releasing in 2021. Well, no fucking shit. But it did not say which studio is developing it or what franchise it might be. Management also said that it had learned a lot already from the free-to-play Call of Duty Warzone, and this game will remain operational and supported in the future, even when the new mainline game releases. Black Ops Cold War's weapons were integrated into Warzone, and it's expected that this will continue with the future mainline Call of Duty games. If history is any indication, 2021's Call of Duty game may be coming from Sledgehammer Games. The studio's last game that it led development on was way back in 2017, so it appears the team may be up next after Treyarch made 2018's Black Ops 4, and Infinity Ward developed 2019's Modern Warfare. Treyarch returned in 2020 with Black Ops Cold War. Whatever the case, it's a good time for Call of Duty as the franchise had its biggest year ever in 2020. Additionally, Activision announced that the entire franchise, dating back to 2003, has now generated $27 billion in revenue. Holy moly, that is a lot of quiche.
That's a lot of quiche.
So, no Overwatch 2, no Diablo 4 in 2021. I don't think, I wasn't surprised by that. Overwatch 2 maybe, but I thought Diablo 4 might have been a little bit further down the line.
Oh, I actually wasn't even anticipating an Overwatch 2 this year. It's been a long time since we've had an Overwatch, but Overwatch 2, I wasn't holding my breath for it. Diablo, I don't know how I was feeling with that one. We've only seen small snippets of gameplay.
Yep. Yeah,
Well, there was a
30
beta,
minutes
right?
of gameplay,
Was there a beta?
couple of classes. We saw a druid play where he can transform into a bear and stuff like that, and we saw a mage and some cool cutscenes and trailers, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we saw that it actually appears to be a bit more gruesome, a little more violent in detail. But, I mean, I'm not sad. I'm not, devastated that I'm not going to be getting either of these two titles this year. Like we've established, we're always quite spoiled for games as gamers, so complaining that two titles are coming out this year is probably far from, far from disastrous considering the fact. In regards to Call of Duty, them saying that they're not too sure who's going to be doing the recent one, I feel like Treyarch should just always have the helm of Call of Duty.
So do I. I love their games. I love their... Infinity Ward do great as well. I'm a big fan of Infinity Ward through the Modern Warfare sort of franchise that they sort of made their hay with. But yeah, just give it to Treyarch or IW. I'd be happy with either of those. Sledgehammer, send them to go do something else.
Hang out with Peter Gabriel. Yeah. So I like also the no dart. Is it true that Call of Duty releases a game every year? Is it really like that?
Yep.
Gosh, that's intense. That's a lot.
Every year in November. Yeah, or back end of October to the first 2 weeks of November. Every year without fail. Yeah, so we'll get some more of that. The one thing that I found interesting where they're talking about Overwatch 2 passing a significant milestone in December 2020 that involved hundreds of developers taking part. I wonder what that was. Are they stress testing a server to almost have a battle royale mode in here? Are they talking about hundreds of developers and they were all hands-on and they're trying to weave in a different mode? They were talking about in some further reports trickling around where they're looking to double down and focus more on free-to-play, and maybe they'd bring out an Overwatch Warzone equivalent, where it's a hero-based BR that's free-to-play, and then you get the mainline Overwatch 2 game as well. I don't know. It's curious to hypothesize about.
No, you're right, because the major contenders in gaming platform and the major ones that are out there is your, as we mentioned, League of Legends. We've got your Apex. We've got your Fortnite. And these games are free to play.
Yep.
So these companies have essentially gone forward and said, hey, you don't need to pay for a game to succeed and consistently get the big bucks from. And Overwatch, you do have to pay to play.
Yeah.
So that's...
So maybe we see a free-to-play Overwatch equivalent, whether it be a spin-off part of Overwatch 2 or if it's its own standalone thing, but it wouldn't surprise me. Not one bit, because they'd make all their money back, obviously, through microtransactions and stuff like that. That's the easy way to do it. So, yeah, but we'll wait and see. We've got obviously BlizzCon happening later this year, where we'll probably maybe get some updates and maybe some actual fixed release dates on those two games for somewhere in 2022, one might imagine. Yes. In the last bit of news, Google Stadia is up against the ropes. Google Stadia is shutting down its internal game development efforts and shifting focus towards third-party games with its cloud streaming service Stadia. According to a Kotaku report ahead of the announcement this past week, Google will close its 2 game studios in Montreal and Los Angeles, with roughly 150 roles affected, though the company says it will try to find new roles for these developers. Google Stadia VP Phil Harrison confirmed in a post this past week that Google will, in quotes, not be investing further in exclusive content from its internal development teams beyond any near-term planned games. This is due to the significant investment involved in creating games of the quality required. The company states that more third-party games will also be coming to the platform. So, I don't know if this is the final death nail, but it's certain, like, the coffin is getting sealed more and more by the day. Like, this platform, which had so much premise and, not so much premise, so much potential when it was first announced, and knowing like a big juggernaut like Google was behind it, you'd think it was in a great position to succeed. But this thing has just had stumble after stumble after stumble, and it just feels like this thing's going to be dead and gone within the next 2 years.
Sounds like it's going that way. I only know maybe 2 people who use Stadia, and the biggest flex that they've been able to throw on me is I think Stadia had the best quality gameplay of Cyberpunk. I believe that they were the ones that got to experience the real like full definition of Cyberpunk and in all its beauty. So that was the one flex that they had, but they do defend it to the end of the earth. But having the actual studio, the Stadia studio closed down, is a big hit, and a view of things to come. I remember they took on that, I've forgotten her name, but I believe she actually came from Sony. Was it the Santa Monica group?
Yeah, Shannon Studstill. Shannon Studstill, who left Sony Santa Monica, and she was supervising the development, obviously, 2018's God of War. So, don't know what's happening with her and her team there, because they're closing it down. So, is she just going to go back to Sony, or is she going to jump ship to somewhere else? Like, she'd be a good get for whoever can convince her to jump on board. Like, she's a very intelligent individual and's got a lot of success, but Stadia, Miss Hart, it's gone. I remember you guys were trying to pre-order one and were debating getting one, right?
Yeah, it was more of the bandwidth of what it takes in order to successfully play it. So we decided that it just wasn't worth it, especially a household that has multiple consoles, PCs, and everything like that. It's not like we're in dire straits to find a new way to play video games. The whole service in general of being able to play games off like a cloud online and being able to take it with you. At first, I thought that Stadia was going to be the one to lead the charge, but it seems like Microsoft might be beating them.
And I can confirm, Australian internet, it's not known for being the best, that's for sure. No. I think everyone can agree with that. I played xCloud at Benny's house the other day, and I forgot to talk about it on last week's podcast. I played Ori and the Will of the Wisps via xCloud, and it was super, super smooth. Graphics through the phone were phenomenal. There was no latency between controller input and the movement in the game. It was really, really good. So xCloud, chef's kiss to everyone involved with that, especially to be able to make it work in Australia with Australian internet conditions. I was super, super impressed. Like, I can't wait. Like, I still, for some reason, haven't signed up to try and get into the beta of xCloud. I should probably do that after this podcast, because I was blown away with how smooth and seamless that connection was, and how great the gameplay translated to the phone.
I just haven't touched it.
But Google Stadia, potentially rest in peace by 2023. That's what I'm saying.
Prove us wrong, Google. Prove us wrong.
Yeah, and obviously you see the same sort of potential stuff churning around with like the Amazon game development where they're talking about focusing on it, yet they're scrapping games and everything else. You know, just because you're a big powerhouse, it doesn't mean that you can make games. Like, you know, Microsoft and Sony, they seem to be the exception to the rule. But
they've been doing it for some time.
yeah, tis what it is. Let's move into this,
Tweet of the week.
And this little ditty, short and sweet, but I just wanted to bring it to the table here because I think we've got different opinions. In this tweet, it's currently a live poll running over at We Are 8-Bit on Dem Socials. And the question is, choose wisely, chicken nuggets or chicken wings? And at time of copy-pasting these metrics into this agenda doc this morning, nugs have 42.9% of the vote and wings 57.1%. Miss Hart, where are you casting your vote and why?
I don't see any competition here. I am full nugs.
You with wings then too, clearly, yeah?
No, I'm not a psychopath that, tries to get my hands dirty and having to navigate the anatomy of a chicken. I'm full nugs. Let's go chicken nuggets. Number 1.
You're killing me. But, I think, this question, fence sitting for a second, there's no loser of this. Like, if you get wings or you get nuggets, you're happy.
I kind of feel like the loser is the person who chokes on a bone.
Oh, well, choke on a chicken wing.
You don't deserve it.
You're doing it wrong. Take a good hard look at yourself. Maybe step back, go buy a baby bib and some baby food and start with that until you work out how to chew and swallow and all those very difficult things. But chicken wings are the best because I think a nug is a nug for the most part. They all
quack.
taste pretty similar. Obviously KFC, as far as the main chains, they're the king of nugs, in my opinion. But they're all pretty similar. They've all got the same sort of sauce, condiments, and everything like that with them. Where wings, you can get so many different varieties. You want dry, you want wet, you want spicy, you want sweet. There's all these variations with wings that you can get, and it's delicious. Whether you want a drum, whether you want a flat, with the flat, there's a way you can sort of get all the meat off the bone without even having to sort of break the flats apart. There's some science to wing eating, and I'm all about the wings. And I make some of the best buffalo wings in the land. Getting around, I'll put my hat on that. I'll die on this hill. I'm a good buffalo wing creator, and that's the thing. There's a lot of average wings, but when you have good wings, it's oh yeah, I can fuck with this. Where nuggets is nuggets.
Nuggets wise, I don't really choose nugs as an option when I go to places that offer them. For me, the real nug experience is at home. That's the true experience. You get to divvy up if you're having half a packet or you're just cooking up the whole fucking bag, which is usually me. And then you are only limited to your imagination or whatever your cabinet of condiments offers. Now, I'm your token just tomato sauce girl. So,
tomato sauce girl.
Yep. Dip the nugs
So
in the red
if you were to go to a McDonald's or a KFC, would you get over there in America now? Would you get them with ketchup then? Is that what you do?
Oh yeah, ketchup. Yeah, I can't say tomato sauce. I have to say ketchup because I think they usually, if I say tomato sauce, they're assuming I want some kind of bolognese or some bullshit.
Oh yum, that'd be good with nugs too, though. A good
a
marinara sauce.
Yeah. But no, I when it comes to a fast food joint, I generally don't usually go, oh, hang on, Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A does good nugs. But
they do good nugs.
So, but yeah, nugs all the way. Wings are just too complex. It's too much of a chore. You got to bite around. You got to navigate. Your hands are going to get dirty. It's just too much effort for not a good payoff because you're only getting so much meat off the bone. So
there's something almost euphoric about after eating a good nug and you've got saucy fingertips and you're you're finishing your meal and you're doing the this. It's like the cherry on top of the sundae. I love a good finger suck or a finger lick. Read into that what you will, but
I'll make that a soundbite.
Yeah, I just love wings. I love nugs too. Like, as I said, like I don't think you can lose if someone if you went to someone's house and they're doing a cook up of some kind of chicken variety and they whip out nuggets or wings, I'd be happy. Like, but if I had to settle on which one I could eat forever, I'd take the wings.
See,
like I love wings.
American culture loves wings. Like they literally have places here dedicated
Buffalo Wild
to
Wings,
the
baby.
things. Yeah, and I have no interest in it at all. Like to me, no, I don't. Like I've tried one once, and to me the experience just wasn't worth it. I would rather go to Costco and buy a full cooked chook and then eat it that way.
Wow, that's dramatic.
It is. It's I just don't think the wing, like when you get KFC, when you get a bucket and you get the assortment of chicken parts, let's just call it that, I hate getting the wing.
Wings are like my second favorite piece.
Are you a psycho? It goes drumstick, breast, wing.
No, it goes drumstick, wing, rib, thigh, breast. For me.
Did KFC have that many different pieces?
5 pieces in chook, yeah.
Really? I only feel like I ever really get like 3 different shapes.
No,
you know, the 3 token shapes of the chicken anatomy.
Breast, leg, wing. No,
Yeah.
there's the thigh, and then there's the rib cage as well.
Oh.
Yeah, I ate a lot of KFC, so I know this.
Yeah, I am not going to question you.
But okay, here's another thing I didn't even think of.
Uh-huh.
Boneless wings. Where do you sit with that?
That's a nugget.
It's called a boneless wing, though. Not a nugget. Even though it has the same
This is going to sound psychotic. You go to a bird, take its bone out and tell it to fly. See how much of a wing that is. Sorry, birdie, you got nugget arms now.
But if I was to make wings and then if I stripped all the meat off the bone and just ate the meat without the bone, that's a boneless wing. That's not a nugget.
I still think like I like I said, I don't eat wings, but I know in the wing eating community there is a big line between people who eat wings with bone and without bone. I know it's actually quite a controversy, and a lot of people who are dedicated bone wing eaters, if they hear people don't have the bone in it,
upon the
they
boneless
do.
eaters.
They do. They say, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're eating nuggets." Then, like,
yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it? But I'll say one thing too. I'm a ranch over blue cheese by a long way. I hate blue cheese sauce with a passion. It can get in the bin.
It has mold.
Yeah, it's gross. Has mold in it.
That was my reference.
Shout out to Lubelin and Jimmy and Alison Brie for that one. That was a banger.
I can't believe our biggest debate has been about nuggets and wings.
We're very sensitive. I'm very
We
sensitive,
are called
especially with
the
wings.
hungry gamers, so I like that our most passionate topics is usually about food.
But you know what? I've got both frozen wing, like I've got wings in the freezer, and I've also got nuggets in the freezer. So I'll gladly eat either or. So I'm going to actually make some wings tonight or tomorrow now. I'm going to defrost some of them wings and cook them up and love every minute, and then I'm going to suck and lick my fingers. Like that. What do you guys think about that sexy imagery? Let's move on to the last part of the potty.
New releases and events.
All right, so we got 5 games dropping this upcoming week between episode 227 and 228. I've got Death Crown on the PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch on February 11th. Little Nightmares 2 dropping on the PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and a PC. Galgun Returns dropping on February the 12th on PC, Xbox, and Switch. Rover Wars on Xbox and February 12th as well. And probably the big one. The one that was only announced like a month ago, it feels like, or 10 minutes ago, it feels like. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury dropping on that Nintendo Switch on February the 12th as well. So
Jumping on that one.
5 games. Yeah, that one, it looks cool. Like from that announcement trailer, I swear it was, like, I'm not going to say yesterday, but it feels like it was the other week when I was eating wings because they're delicious. But I can't wait for this. I'm going to be picking this up on the Switch. It'll be the first time I've played my Nintendo Switch in, holy moly, easy 6 to 9 months. It's been flat for so long. I haven't touched my Switch in forever.
I think I literally charged mine the other day.
There you go.
So, like, charged and loaded up, not just charged, but yeah. Yeah. No, this one's a great title. Super Mario 3D World is a classic, and it's just tons of fun. It is a great game to play co-op and just screwing over your friends by jumping on their heads, and also using the costumes as well. The costumes are great. So I can't wait to play this one.
Heckin' yeah. And Little Nightmares too. Give that a look too. I really like the original Little Nightmares. So
I never played it, but it looks beautiful. Like, beautiful in the artistic sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. So, Miss Hart, that brings us to the back end of episode 227 THG. Anything you want to say before we close the studio down for another week?
Yeah, I just want to let everyone know that I will be hanging out with the guys from News to Reviews this week on their podcast. So keep an ear out, look out on the social medias, and we should be talking together about video games. So looking forward to hanging out with the guys.
Hell yeah, Zach and Lockie, good pair of peeps, and check them out on the socials. Twitter, it's news2 reviews. So check them out. Be sure to follow and rate, review, subscribe, and give that episode a spin when it drops into your ear holes later this week. Is it this week yet, or next week?
Yeah, well, we're recording this weekend.
Nice. Can't wait to give that a listen. But yeah. 8-Bit Nation, this brings us to the end of the Hungry Gamers for another week. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe us on the podcast player of your choice, because those ratings and reviews help keep the emotional lights on in our hearts. When you're done checking us out, obviously shop 8bit.net, 8bit.net. They're all our main hubs. You can find great merch, great articles, great podcasts to listen to, great video content. It's all there. 8bit.net and shop 8bit.net. Once you're done checking our stuff out, obviously audiotechnica.com or audiotechnica.com.au for the best in audio-based equipment in the business. You want some microphones, you want headphones, you want gaming headsets, you want turntables, you want Bluetooth, you want noise, you want all the good stuff. It is all there, audiotechnica.com.au to start that content creation journey, or just upgrade your streetwear. So get that done. But yeah, this brings us to the end of the Hungry Gamers for another week. Much love, 8-Bit Nation.
And eat chicken nuggets.
And then stay hungry and eat wings.
You'll stay hungry. You don't want to eat them.
To the Hungry Gamers, one of many
But mostly just eat
gaming and
wings.
geek culture-related podcasts from
talking
the
over him.
Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.
Can I tell you how weird it is that one of the best shaped chicken nuggets are dinosaur nuggets, and they say chickens are the current dinosaurs, like they're like genetically connected?